clients wise, do you have a perfect client now? And do you want to replicate that client? And like, what are your problem clients?
Okay. To be honest, I don't have a perfect client. I think I'm just still in it, still figuring it out. Like I have clients from NBA sports agencies to personal brands to negotiation firms to real estate moguls. Like I have a lot of variety of clients to gyms to mosques to churches. Um,
So that type of client, right? Because I have athlete clients too. Like, yeah, what do you think? Is there something you could change there, or do you think it's just like a being young thing?
yeah, I feel like athletes are the hardest ones because like not every athlete thinks numbers outside of like the contract, like the sports contract. And so convincing them to like do videography work for a price, especially when you probably have a friend relationship with them, it's just tough to really make a living off of it. But athletes come with so much clout and it comes with so much like cool stuff like, oh, I'm at the Cleveland Cavaliers game for free. It's dope, but like it's just hard to like really lock them down on like a all right, let's do 2,000 a month, right? Um, until you really have shown your worth. So it just takes a bunch of free at first and a bunch of like good faith.
Got it. Yeah. I've been in that situation where you can do free work for a while. And as long as you set a boundary of like, all right, after 3 months or 2 months or whatever you set it, we got to do something concrete or I'm going to dip. And you got to actually walk away and say, like, hey, like this helped me,
Yeah.
but, you know, like it may have helped me for a while to get more visibility,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't eat visibility. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then what'll happen is it'll lead you to other clients. You'll be like, and now I don't have time for you because you're a free client.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it seems like you're just, still obviously in the starting phase of trying to feel out the marketplace.
Yeah. So the like I feel like being paid comes in two forms when you're in this industry. It comes in exposure and it comes in dollars. Like and those are the only two ways you get paid or you should be getting paid. And like as a videographer, you gotta like think, okay, or as just a content creator and a marketer, you gotta think, okay, what's the best thing for where I'm trying to get? And so working with athletes has brought me some of my biggest exposure, not necessarily working with like real estate moguls or different businesses. It's been
Because
through
those
athletes.
guys, it's better pay, it's less
Yeah,
exposure.
yeah. But the difference is they have more connections to more paid opportunities. So if you were to go to sports route and you love sports, I would I don't know if I can recommend, but like my way of doing it is like I stick with sports and I don't think of them from a money standpoint. I think about my clients outside of sports from a money standpoint because sports is just like a matter of time. You will get your money, it's just gonna take a long time. So I do both at the same time essentially to build exposure.
I like that. That's actually a good tip. I mean, like that's something we can totally use in the videographer course to say, you know, pick a couple of those athlete clients that you see the long-term gains in
Yeah.
and just be willing to kind of um, just grind through it, knowing, hey, I'll get access, I'll get exposure, but I might not get steady pay or any pay. And I have to create my own boundary to when I feel like, all right, I'm just being used now and I need to stop. Or maybe it opens the door and you get a paying client. Like I had a friend who was shooting photos and video content for Kevin Durant when he was like injured. And so he was like rehabbing in LA. So he was like the in-house guy, like just there with him.
Yeah.
And he's somebody I met through working with Ryan Leslie on music videos like 10 years ago. And he makes his money off, print sales and doing street photography and getting hired. And he even did a talk at the Apple store. But he obviously, getting to Kevin Durant when he's got a big budget, and Kevin like understands the brand because he's a veteran in the league. So you get
Mm-hmm.
vets in the league that see your work, they get it. You're not going to just be there to do free work.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
yeah,
agree.
but it takes a while, and it's like so tough. Like even working with some of the bull riders, I talk to them about like, guys, you got to make content now because you could be out of your sport tomorrow, and at the same time, um, it's going to just be harder for them as they go along and realize, oh, I didn't capture everything when I needed it. And it's the same
Mm-hmm.
as you saying, I'm willing to wait on the pay, but we have to capture now. Because if you miss all the stuff now, you can't tell some great documentary. You're like, nobody was there to get it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah.
And that's the whole thing
Yeah,
with
it's kind of
Coop.
like it's kind of just an interesting way to do it.
It's
Um,
for us as like documentarians and artists, photographers, creatives, we kind of invest. It's not a it's somewhat of a gamble, but we like invest in the future of, I believe in this person or this project. I think it has
yeah,
the potential to be great. And we have to be okay with like, man, that went off the rails. Like it's not all up to us. Like that person
yeah.
can just totally change their mind about everything.
But I think the smartest thing that I've done in my career is that I've always tried things and lab ratted things. So,
Yeah.
like for example, like I've always wanted to maybe start a tournament. So my first client was literally a guy off of a recreational field, and I just recorded him to do a little mix. He was like a D3 type player. He didn't even play college, and I just recorded him, did a mix. And then later that summer, I wanted to do a tournament centered around because he was a little bit known in the city, and it was just a trial, right? It didn't happen, but I've always tried things. Where like I wanted to do a documentary, so I was like, okay, let me try the documentary and learn this process. And it wasn't that I was just trying to try. Uh, I would try things because those were like goals that I wanted to accomplish. So I would try it, see where it went, and then go from there instead of just trying to find money from it. Like I didn't go to the documentary guy, I made the documentary for him. Say, hey, I need this much money for you to pay for this documentary. And I was just like, let me try this. Let me see how far it goes. Okay, cool. And then that has led me to flying across the country all summer. Right.
That's what's
And
up.
I don't think it's just a lucky thing. Like it's not oh, you find the right person and maybe they're the right opportunity. I think literally you just have to try different like ideas outside of just cool ass videos. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't just be, oh, let me make a cool ass video for it, bro. That's not really what it is. You gotta like build something that's of value for whoever the person that you're trying to work with. And then someone's gonna see it and then that value will be replicated.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You have to tell a story. Like anybody can do a cool edit to a song with some highlights. Like I could just
Yeah,
download
yeah,
somebody else's footage and do that. But
yeah,
that's not anything special, especially not today. And it's actually advantageous to do the documentary piece because there are so many people that just are editing highlights without. There's no substance there. Like you're
yeah.
not
It's
telling me the
nothing.
story.
Yeah, I agree. It's not really exciting,
Yeah.
but
So
I,
it's what we're doing really here is like we're changing the mindsets or allowing other people that think like us to like join and say, you know, you think like we do. We want to tell stories and document life. There's a
yeah,
market for it. We don't have to just do fast highlights and fast editing and
yeah,
highlight reels, whatever. Like then that's over. It's like
yeah.
30 seconds, 15 seconds on a story. I'm done watching it. I didn't
I'm
learn
done
anything.
watching it and I don't come back. Yeah,
And I want more. I just want to see highlights again. It's like Sports Center.
yeah,
What you want at the beginning of the video is him to say something that's real profound. Like that the content needs to really hook you in. So you could even change up the edit to where it's a piece that's later in the video, but it's the part, it's like with the YouTube video, it's the piece you need to hook people at the beginning and then start from the beginning. Kind of like a TV show does sometimes. And then they roll
how
time.
would I educate my VAs to do that though?
So
That's the part.
yeah, see, this is the problem with VAs is they're a little bit slow on picking up those like small little subtle changes. They're good at batch doing, oh, do A to Z. Got it. So say you're gonna need to tell them to find an interesting clip, find an interesting sentence, right? And it might be that they're going to send you one of those videos I just watched, and you're going to watch it and say, take the piece from this second to this second, move it to the front, and then hit me with like a little, maybe it's the blip or like it's some edit.
Yeah,
So
I'll just make one template for them.
and say like,
And then I
guys,
send them that project file.
yeah, be like, guys, you see where I found this? It wasn't at the beginning. I sent you the clip, but I want the piece that's toward the end to actually go first, and then the whole thing to play.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
So then, that transition that we have at the beginning, should I just start flat with him talking about the most interesting part, do that transition, then restart essentially?
Yeah,
Okay.
start
I don't
with
start with that transition anymore.
the transition should be like right after he says the thing.
Yeah, not as fast. On a side note though, with like running a business, like how do you have you ever had like right now I have maybe 6 or 7 different clients.
Nice.
How do you manage all that? Like right now it's getting better because I got like people doing work for me and it's like it's cool and it's running up, but like I'm still letting on people's projects. And then like certain times like it's hard to do like a very high quality highlight story driven clip.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Then turn around and do a YouTube video. Like it's just tough. Like how do you manage it or how do you really start to build $1 million business with this?
Well, the best thing you can do, and this applies to life, but especially in business, is set really good expectations with people and, under promise, over deliver. So that just means you're going to be honest to the point that you're like, look, if you want to do this amazing story driven, like documentary that we take our time with, that means we're going to have to take our time. I can't turn this around in a week. It might take months. I don't know. It's going to depend on the inputs. And, to be real, sometimes you have to get up and step away from your work, rest your eyes, or your brain.
And enjoy life to really do a good job.
And you just need a break. You're like, I can't look at this right now. I'm way too deep in the weeds. I got to back away and like think about some things and maybe rewatch it, have somebody else watch it. So again, you set good expectations with your client and they'll understand. You say like, we can do a quick edit, but it's just not going to have the depth and the soul that a longer one is going to be. Maybe we interview more people. You can always do interviews till the cows come home, like with a documentary, but longer projects, and then be willing to like take the blame up front and kind of like you did saying, hey, I missed this meeting and, here's how I feel about it. And I want to make sure that we're on the same page. So the more you can communicate with your clients like that, they actually like communication versus you're just delivering and not talking to them as much.
Okay.
They'll like it. They'll appreciate. You're like, wow. They'll think of you like, wow, like Nosa is always talking to me about what's going on. And like, cause it keeps them informed. They just want to be informed. At the end of the day, you're going to make a good project. You're never worried about that. You just want to make sure you can juggle all your clients and you want to make them all feel like they're number one. And that's the toughest part. And you can even, tell them like, look, I have, as like other clients and like lots of projects, but I'm setting time aside for you. And you can say that to every one of them. And it's honest. And then you divvy that time up how you deem appropriate. But just communication, man. Relationships, I've learned that with friendships, romantic relationships, business, it's the same. If you're really clear at communicating and you're willing to take blame for the things you make a mistake on, then bro, like people they'll give you slack. They'll be like, okay, cool. Like he knows where he's at. Like I am with you. I'm like, I know where you're at. Mentally, I know where you're at. So I'm not worried.
Mm-hmm. All right, bet. Perfect.
Sweet.
All right, dog.
All right, man.
Cool.
Enjoy your night.
See you next week.
Yes, sir.
Next week. Bet.
Peace.